Lighting be damned. So what's it like to work in Nashville as a musician during one of the busiest weekends of the year? And that's what I think I'm going to document this weekend, which is CMA FEST here in Nashville. And I think the easiest way I can explain it is that CMA FEST is kind of like, think Lollapalooza weekend in Chicago, except for country music. But this weekend, I need to pick up some extra work. So I put out a few calls and got put on a few gigs, and I'm going to show you what it's like to play in Nashville on Lower Broadway as a musician during one of the busiest weekends of the year, CMA FEST, where there's so many people in town and so many gigs going on, and it's just chaos. You have to be ready to move. And this is one of my favorite parts about living and working in Nashville. So come along with me on the weekend of CMA FEST. Let's check it out.
No, I hate morning shows. Alright, let's get this shit done.
So I usually walk down or get an Uber, but everything is like closed off today because it's CMA FEST. So my friend Amy, hi Amy! She's giving me a ride. Getting into Broadway during CMA FEST is always a bit of a challenge with parking and gear and termites.
Yeah.
Termites. So 10 minutes later, we moved about 10 feet. This is the hardest part of the gig, just getting in and out. And you hear the sirens? Yes. It's just like this 24/7 on Broadway this weekend. Termites. Termites. Just like getting close enough to Broadway and bars is pretty tricky this weekend. And this is like at 9:30 in the morning. All right.
And it's only going to get worse.
What's the special word for today, Amy?
Termites.
Termites. Oh, take your time, take your time. So this is about as close as I'm gonna get right here. Say the word.
Termites.
All right, we've walked about a mile, almost to the top of the hill with this giant cart. Almost there, almost up the top of the hill. Just gotta keep going. Almost there. Okay, so just finished the gig. Just walked back to my place. So the guys in the band, another gig opened up and they wanted to do a double. And I said, yeah, we can do it. Thankfully it got filled, and right now I am glad because it's hotter than Satan's butthole outside. And I just pushed, this cart, uphill about a mile and a half. I think I'm, glad I didn't do that other gig. Okay, just got home from the gig. It's about like 2:45, 3 o'clock. Got out of there really quickly, got paid really quickly. And right now, all I want to do is kind of just sit down and chill out, let my ears recover. But since I slept in this morning, I didn't get my workout in, I got to go get a workout in now. I do that because I just want to get it over with. America! And, if I get called to do a 6 to 10 or a closing gig today, I might want to have that option open. Made $175, with tips. It's not great, it's not bad, but I paced myself. Hi, buddy. I didn't really worry about setting up cameras and live streams and promoting everything. I just sat down and played today. But even still, just doing that, it takes a lot of focus and energy.
I don't want to work out now because I have very happy kitty cat. Oh, buddy. Yeah, I'm happy to see you too, Mr. Jelly Beans.
Look who decided to show up today. It's Amy. Amy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's Saturday morning, like around. It's almost 9 o'clock. I slept in. My gig starts at 10. I have to hustle right now. Why am I making this video?
Awesome job, man. That was awesome.
God damn it. It's Saturday afternoon around like 3:30 or 4. I just finished playing and I just pushed my cart home through the rain and humidity. I'm exhausted. When you're playing downtown on Broadway at CMA Fest, you are not playing CMA Fest. There is a CMA Fest going on around you, and you're still doing the same old shifts on Broadway, playing the same old songs. There just happens to be a lot more people. Now, sometimes people get excited about it because there's a lot of energy down there, and there's, I like it too. This is one of the things that like makes Nashville cool. And sometimes you can make a lot of money on these big weekends, but sometimes you make a lot less money because there's so many people down there, but they're not all tipping because they're saving their money maybe to get into CMA Fest or maybe to spend at CMA Fest. Or like, the price of hotel and food and Ubers are going up. The price of drinks are going up. And so people have less disposable income to spend. I think I made like maybe like $500 over the past 3 gigs, which isn't terrible, but it's not great. I'm not worried about the dollars per se, because I'm focusing on other things right now. But I have no illusions that, this is my big break. This is part of a job. And after I do my job, I need to work on my music career. Broadway I kind of view it as a job. You're not going to like every song you play. You're not going to like every person you play. You're not going to like all the conditions that you play in. It's like any other gig. You kind of have to decide what attitude you want to have. And that's always something I'm working on. And for me, I don't like doing 2 or 3 gigs or shifts a day. Like even one now is kind of just, it takes a lot of energy, because I don't ever want to like phone it in on a gig. I don't want to hold back. I want to play to my best ability. I want to be uber focused in the moments. That's where I'm my happiest. But there's only so much energy and focus you can have when you're exhausted. And there's the stress of getting in and out. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of patience to get into a gig. Like get you and your gear into a shift on Broadway and get out, especially during these weekends. That, for me, that is the most difficult part. That is the most taxing part. And previously I was doing like, on the CMA FEST weekends, I was doing like 2 or 3 gigs and seeing how many shifts a day I could do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right now it's not what I want to pursue, but I like having the opportunity to go and make a little bit of money, play a little bit of tunes. That's my job. And then I have to remind myself when I'm done with that job, okay, now you need to work on your career. And that's the hardest thing, because right now I'm tired. I want to take a nap, or I just want to do nothing. And I have a lot of things to do, but yeah, so I might take some more gigs, or I just might take some time to chill, because there's always another weekend. There's always more gigs. I used to take as many gigs as possible because I didn't know when the next gig was going to come, where I would get money. I was insecure about my playing. I needed to stay as busy as possible. If I told people no, they would never call again. Sometimes that is true. If you tell people no enough times, they stop calling. That kind of reshifting where I want to go and where my focus is. But one thing is, like, I don't pull out completely, totally from one area. I still, keep an iron in that fire. But like slowly start investing into other areas to keep all these opportunities open, but not be invested too much into one place. And that's why I'm not like doing 2 or 3 shifts a day on Broadway now. Maybe I'll do 2 or 3 shifts a week. On busier weeks, I'll do a little bit more, but I'm trying to work in other places. I don't know if that's a natural progression here in Nashville. And I'm not saying I want to be the typical Nashville person. I'm not sure if I want to go on the road or do studio work. I want to focus more on doing like original projects and being my own person. And I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, I think that was my weekend. So thank you for coming along. I think Nashville is a great place for music, and it's a great place for musicians. It doesn't mean it's easy. And there are some days where you're just exhausted, but it comes with the territory. I've lived in plenty bigger cities, but this is the place where I think I can do the most musically. I can work in music to pay for my artistic pursuits in music, which I may not make money in. So yeah, that's my weekend.